I've trained over 6,000 real estate agents on how to leverage YouTube to generate consistent leads that turn into closed deals for free, and I've helped create some of the most successful YouTube channels in the entire industry. And in this video, I'm going to give you the exact framework of how you can start your channel today and how I've been able to help agents just like you go on to consistently close over $100,000 in commission for free with zero experience in front of the camera, people who are not techie, even introverts seeing success with YouTube. So I'm gonna not only give you the 5-step framework that you need to follow if you want to generate consistent closed deals from your YouTube channel, but I'm also going to break down the most critical mistakes you need to avoid if you want to see success from your new YouTube channel. I'm even going to show you how to crack the YouTube algorithm and at the very end, give you an exact launch plan so that you can get started today. Now, before getting started, I just want to mention that I do have a free 90-minute YouTube Masterclass showing you how to use AI or artificial intelligence to basically take care of all the work for you, give you the exact videos, optimize them to rank #1, and make sure that you consistently turn views into clients and close deals. So if you would like that, just comment YouTube training below and I'll make sure that I get that free training over to you. Now, before diving into the strategies, I just want to set some context here and give you a bit of faith in the fact that I have helped so many agents just like you, where, as you can see here, I helped Suman do 87 deals in his first year, over $1 million in commission. He's now gone on to do over 200 million in volume and over 5 million in commission in his first 3.5 years. I was able to help Adam 5 generate over 50 seller leads in 1 month with his YouTube channel. Also, Marty went part-time to full-time within a matter of 4 months and is now closing consistently over 100,000. Shane is a really unique story where he actually got diagnosed with cancer, and during chemotherapy, I helped him launch his YouTube channel, and he's now generating over $440,000 in commission from it as an introvert, similar to Barry, who closed over $100,000 in commission in 1 month with less than 200 subscribers as an agent who is terrified of the camera. And even if you focus on, for example, agent attraction at a cloud-based brokerage, I helped Vinay actually do better than me and now has a bigger YouTube following than even I do. And she's become recognized as the go-to agent for social media in Spanish, all following the exact blueprint that I'm going to walk you through right now. But before diving into the 5-step framework that you need to follow if you want to generate consistent free leads from your YouTube channel, I want to give you some context as to why YouTube, in my opinion, is the best platform to generate leads that actually turn into closed deals. The first being it's Evergreen. And what that means is that unlike platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels, where you have to continuously post over and over and over again because pretty much the next day the video dies, with YouTube, it's evergreen in nature, which means that all of the channels that I just showed you have continued to generate leads with videos they recorded 3 years ago because it lives on the platform forever, but it's also searchable forever if you follow the framework that I'm gonna walk you through in this video. But what that means is that it compounds year over year over year. Whereas with other social media platforms, you're essentially starting from ground zero every single day with your latest post. With YouTube, it continues to build on itself and it lives in the searchable world forever. Which leads me to number 2, why YouTube is so powerful, which is the searchability, or the SEO, the search engine optimization. YouTube is owned by Google. Google's the #1 search platform in the world. YouTube is number 2. So the really interesting thing compared to other social media platforms is that it is a very search-based platform. People are going on there to find answers, to search for specific things, how to move to your city, how to sell their home in your city, relocating to your city. They're not going to Instagram and TikTok to find those answers. YouTube provides longer videos, meaning more context, and that's where the majority of buyers, statistically speaking, actually start their search, which is on a platform like YouTube. So knowing that we have some control, as I'm gonna show you later on, of the searchability of it and how to help make it perform, it gives you a lot better of a chance in order to help your videos get in front of the right audience so that they become leads, conversations, and closed deals. And then the third component as to why YouTube is so critical and why it's my favorite platform for lead generation is a conversion rate. There's actually a statistic out there that the average person becomes a client after they've consumed 7 hours of somebody's content. Now I'm gonna show you how to do that in a fraction of the time, on average closer to a couple of hours or even 1 hour of your content. But just think about that. If you've got a 15-minute YouTube video versus a 15 to 60 second short form video, what does that say in terms of how much of your content they have to watch on YouTube compared to other platforms to become a lead? And that's why across all the channels I just showed you, the majority of them are converting leads that reach out to them at over a 90% rate, because they've consumed so much of your content that they already know, like, and trust you, and have already made that conscious decision that you're the agent that they want to work with. YouTube also positions you as some sort of a local celebrity. All of the agents I just showed you do have that celebrity status in their local market center where people recognize them everywhere that they go. So the credibility, the authority, and what it does for your brand positioning and awareness to remain top of mind is second to none compared to any other social media platform. So now let's dive into the 5 things that you need to do if you want to generate consistent free leads from your YouTube channel. The first is going to be creating content that people are actually searching for. Anytime I've seen an agent struggle with YouTube, they're creating content that they think is valuable, but nobody is actually searching for. So now we have the ability to leverage platforms like ChatGPT, where you can actually guarantee you're creating content that people are searching for on a vast basis. And I'm gonna show you a prompt that I personally wrote that works incredibly well for doing exactly that. So there's no more guessing. You can actually go straight to the content that you know people are searching for. So let's go ahead and type in this prompt here and say maybe we're in Austin, Texas. Well, we're gonna replace city with Austin, Texas, and Austin here. And as we can see, this tells ChatGPT who you are. You're a real estate agent in Austin, Texas. You have a primary goal of generating leads, which is really important. Your target audience is home buyers, sellers, and relocation. And you want to prioritize videos that have the highest amount of views and engagement, which is going to be relocation, market updates, and community and neighborhood tours. So create a list of the 8 video topics that are going to be the best first videos to record. I always like to say 8 because I believe you should be doing 2 per week. I've run the data from every channel that I've ever helped, and 2 videos a week is the sweet spot for getting amazing success. So now, the top 5 neighborhoods in Austin for relocation buyers, a market update, a complete relocation guide, which suburb is right for you, pros and cons, a tour of Austin's downtown, understanding the market, as well as cost of living. Well, as somebody that has helped create some of the most successful YouTube channels in the industry, these are the exact videos I used to recommend before we had access to ChatGPT, because it's data-driven content that is proven to be the highest searched videos that buyers and sellers are actually looking for. So now you don't even need to guess what type of content that you need to create when it comes to launching your YouTube channel. You just have to have the right prompts that tell ChatGPT exactly what type of content that you're looking for, but ones that are proven to be searchable, get a ton of engagement, and ultimately achieve your big goal, which is generating leads. Now, the second thing you need to do if you want to generate incredible results from your YouTube channel is you need to optimize your videos in order to be found. And what this is going to comprise of is your thumbnail, your title, the description of your video, and the keywords or the tags that you put on your video. Now, these are the components of what it takes to optimize a video to rank number 1, outrank your competitors, meaning others who probably have already created some of these videos. Well, if you optimize your video properly, which most of them likely haven't, your videos can actually outperform theirs. So one of the things that used to be a struggle for a lot of people is coming up with the right thumbnail ideas, coming up with the right titles, and no idea what to do with the keywords. But again, if you have the right ChatGPT prompts, you can do this automatically. So we could say, for example, for each of these videos, do the following. And if we tell ChatGPT exactly what to do, you're gonna see here that it's going to create everything that you need in terms of engaging title options, a description that's flooded with keywords, thumbnail ideas, and also some of the keywords for each of these videos, like we can see here. So now when it comes to optimizing your videos, you don't even have to think about it. You can just come here and look at the engaging titles and say, okay, all of these are gonna be data driven in order to get a high click-through rate, which I'll get to in the next section. But all that I do is I look at this and say, okay, I will go to YouTube and I will type in the exact title of this video, which could be a relocation guide to Austin or moving to Austin. And I will put each of these titles next to the ones that are currently ranking in the top positions and say which one of these options is more engaging and captures my attention more than the ones that are currently ranking for the top of that search. And if you write a title and create a thumbnail that is more engaging than the other ones, then people are gonna decide to click on your videos. But if you start to access things like ChatGPT and for each of these videos, ask it to give you the exact details of how to position your video to rank higher than the competition and optimize it to rank properly and be searchable, your video is going to achieve that exact outcome. Now let's move on to the third thing that you need to do, which is cracking the YouTube algorithm before we move on to how to turn views into leads, clients, and close deals. But when it comes to cracking the YouTube algorithm, everybody makes it so difficult and seems like it's this mythical thing that is impossible to understand and you have to pay people thousands of dollars to teach you how to understand it. That's not the case at all. It is very simple. YouTube even tells you how to crack it if you understand the platform deep enough, which again, you'll see if you go to my free training. But to give you a bit of context on how to do this, YouTube cares about two primary things when it comes to any video and how it's going to perform. The first is going to be something called CTR, and that is click-through rate. How many people decide to click on your video versus the other videos on a similar topic? The second thing is going to be watch time. And watch time is the most important part of the YouTube algorithm, and it is what percentage of your video are people watching. These are the two things that YouTube is looking for as a sign of a good video and if it should promote it to a bigger audience and thus helping you get thousands of views and generate more leads, which I will talk about in part number 4. So how do we, for example, get a higher click-through rate, or how do we get more people to click on our videos? Because where a lot of people go wrong is they spend the majority of their time on the video itself. But here's what you need to understand. If nobody clicks on the video, you could have the best video on the planet. I've seen people create videos, have a local video team there, spend thousands of dollars on a video only for it to get 17 views because nobody clicked on it. So we need to spend the majority of our time designing our video for people to click on it. Well, click-through rate is going to be a combination of two critical things. First is going to be your thumbnail, which is the image that shows up if people decide to click on it. And the second is going to be the title of your YouTube video. Those are the two components that go into a decision of whether or not people are going to click on your video and thus a representation of the click-through rate. So how do we very strategically get more people to click on our videos? Well, not only do we need to spend some time on our thumbnail and our title, but there's a strategy that I use and I help all the agents that I coach use, which is very critical and it's so simple to use. So let's say we're doing a video about moving to Austin. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type into YouTube, moving to Austin. I'm going to type that into the search bar. And there's going to be all these other videos come out, which have their thumbnail here and their title here. And there's going to be a whole list of videos of other people that have done all these videos already to date. So here's what we need to do. If we want our video to perform better than the competition and thus generate more views and leads, we need to make sure that our thumbnail stands out and our title stands out compared to the competition. So first I'll start with the thumbnail, and I will actually take a screenshot of my thumbnail and I'll place it beside this one and this one and this one that are currently ranking number 1, number 2, and number 3 on YouTube for this search right here. And once I can get to the point where I say, okay, unbiasedly, if I didn't know who I was or how good the video was, just looking at the thumbnail, if I would click on mine versus the 3 currently ranking in the top, then that means yours likely has a chance in order to rank as well. Then I need to go do the exact same thing with the title and ask, does my title capture more attention than these 3 titles that are currently existing and doing well and performing? And if you can make the title and the thumbnail more engaging, also using the ChatGPT prompt I just provided you, then your video has a chance in order to perform better. But that brings us to part number 2, which is going to be the watch time. So we've covered click-through rate. Now, how do we get more people to watch our video? Well, this is going to be the most important part. So when you look at a YouTube video, you have a timeline here. And this is your YouTube video. It starts at 0 seconds, and maybe it's a 15-minute YouTube video. Okay, well, there's 2 very critical things that you need to do if you want to increase your watch time in the video and thus tell YouTube people are enjoying it and YouTube will promote your video. When we look at this, the first thing is going to be here and here, 2 critical parts. This is going to be at the 30-second mark. This is going to be less than 1 minute. So when we look at this, let's talk about the first 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds is where you need to have a very strong hook. This is how your video should start. Where a lot of people go wrong is saying, hey, it's Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty, your Austin real estate agent, and today I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why you should move to Austin. Okay, well, that doesn't tell people why they should wait 15 minutes throughout your video. Whereas if you start with a hook and say, people are flocking to Austin, but there's 3 critical mistakes I see people making, costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars by purchasing the wrong home in the wrong area. So if you want to make the right move and don't want to make a costly mistake that leaves you feeling disappointed and riddled with regret, stay tuned because I'm also going to break down the 5 best neighborhoods that you should consider when moving to Austin. Now, I just did that off the top of my head, but you get the point. Is that the first one was very generic, very bland, and doesn't really give you a reason as to why you should stay. But the second one says there's 3 critical mistakes, 5 communities for you. Well, now I know in the next 15 minutes, there's a reason for me to stay. I don't want to be riddled with regret. I don't want to make a costly mistake. I want to stay and watch this video. So the hook is going to help increase your watch time. So I spend as much time planning my whole videos as I do in the first 30 seconds. And the first 30 seconds are actually the only thing I script in my videos, or I manually write out and have a bit of a guideline. The rest of the video I bullet point. So now let's move on to part number 4 that you need to do if you want to generate a ton of leads from your content. When you're looking at the components of a YouTube video, you have your thumbnail, you have your title, but you also have a description. And so now that brings us to what happens after the hook of your YouTube video. Well, the second component is going to be this section right here, right after the hook. And after the hook needs to be a call to action. And if you don't call the action, no action gets taken. But a lot of agents not only usually save their call to action for the end of the video, but the problem with that is that usually on average, only 30% are watching by the end of your video, whereas 70% are still watching within the first minute or 30 seconds. So we need to put the call to action at the beginning. But where a lot of agents go wrong is the call to action they use is like, comment, and subscribe. Well, my question to you is, do you want likes, comments, subscriptions, or leads, conversations, closed deals? So what you want to do is you want to call the right action in order to become a lead. And what that means is that in your description, you should have your contact information and a lead magnet. So after you do your hook, say something like, by the way, my name is Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty, your Austin real estate agent. And if you're considering making a move here, I help people just like you that reach out to me every single week to help with their next move. I'd be more than happy to have a private conversation with you to see how I can help or answer any questions. Feel free to contact me here, and you can put your number on the screen, or here via any of the methods in the description of the video below, which should have your phone, email, and usually a lead magnet, and also a Calendly link for people to be able to book. But the lead magnet could be a buyer's guide, seller's guide, relocation guide, or whatever. But that is how you crack the YouTube algorithm in order to make sure that your video performs, but you also turn leads into closed deals. So now that you know the 5 things you need to do in order to succeed on YouTube, I also need to break down the 3 critical mistakes that most agents make, which is why even if they attempt to follow those 5 things, they still fail and don't generate any leads. The first is going to be mindset. Number 1, you need to be disciplined. You will always make time for your priorities, and anytime I've seen an agent fail with YouTube, they say, I don't have time. But you'll always make time for your priorities. Every single channel that I showed you, with the exception of one at the beginning of this YouTube video, all are married, so they have a spouse, and they have multiple kids. So they have all been able to find time because they've made YouTube a priority. They're not using that as an excuse. The second component of that is embracing delayed gratification. Any successful agent that I've seen on YouTube that have helped break 6 figures, even 7, never ask the question, how long will it take for me to generate a lead? They trust the process, they follow my framework, and they know that it's not a matter of if they're generating leads from it, it's a matter of when it's gonna happen for them based on how much work they're putting into it. And the third component of that is going to be consistency. Making sure that, again, 2 videos per week is optimal. You're doing 2 videos every single week, come hell or high water. And that's been the case for all of the channels that I've also shared with you. Now, the second mistake that people make is that they are using this as a guessing game. They're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. There's 2 things you need to avoid when it comes to this. Number 1, not looking at the data. What gets measured gets managed. YouTube has an incredible analytics section, and in the free training that you can get, again, if you comment below, I will show you how to understand the analytics to guarantee your content performs better month after month and generates more leads. But you need to look at the videos that are performing well, but not only the fact that they're performing well, why are they performing well? What are the little nuances that you did in that video that you didn't do in the other videos, and being able to replicate that time and time again. And the second component to that mistake is, again, not using platforms like ChatGPT in order to create data-driven video topics and scripts, hooks, and every single component to make sure that your videos are optimized to perform. The third mistake is excuses. Excuses are nothing but the nails to build a house of failure, and if you're somebody that's making excuses, you're not going to succeed. Some of the most common excuses that I see are, I don't have time. Well, again, you will always make time for your priorities. Number 2, I don't have fancy equipment. Every person I showed you at the beginning of this video all used their iPhone in order to get their YouTube channel started. Number 3, I'm a perfectionist. Well, the truth is, perfectionism is the lowest standard because it doesn't exist, and all that it is procrastination in disguise. If you label yourself as a perfectionist, all that is you making an excuse as to why you can't do something. But the truth is, your videos are never going to be perfect, and I could take a video that somebody thinks is perfect and poke 100 different holes in it as to what they could have done better. So all that perfectionism is a massive, unnecessary excuse that people lean on to try and convince themselves as to why they can't do something or why they can't post a video. Again, done is better than perfect, so never make that as an excuse. And the last excuse that I constantly see is, I don't like how I look or sound on the camera. Well, the problem is guess what? That's exactly how you look and sound in front of your clients in real life, and they're still working with you. So you kind of just have to get over that, because that's you, that's how you sound. It is what it is, accept it, embrace it. I don't like how I sound on videos either. So that's the nature of it. That's something that you're gonna have to come to terms with. And again, don't make it an excuse. So lastly, there's 5 critical steps that you need to take today, right now, if you want to start with YouTube and generate over 6 figures in commission in the next 12 months. The first is going to be study your market. Do a couple searches on YouTube, like moving to your city or moving to Austin, cost of living in Austin, Austin real estate, best neighborhoods in Austin. Do a couple of these searches to start to see what videos are performing and what channels currently exist that you might be able to model or emulate because oftentimes there's people that have proven what works in your market already. If you go to their channel, filter by most popular, you're gonna see a roadmap of the videos that you can get started with today. Number 2 is going to be use the first prompt that I shared in this YouTube video in order to generate your first 8 video topics specific to your market that are going to be data-driven and searchable, which leads to number 3, record your first months of YouTube videos at 2 videos per week and keep that cadence consistently. The 4th thing you need to do is after you've posted those 8 videos, go into the YouTube analytics and also rewatch those videos compared to the competition and write down a list of things that you could do in order to improve for your next batch of videos. And if you start to do this every batch of auditing your own content and identifying certain things you could do to improve, your content is going to continue to perform better. And if you do that iterative process month after month after month, it's pretty much a guarantee that at some point in the near future, your content is going to start to generate more leads. And number 5 is going to be engage with people. If you start to have comments, reply back to them. Reply with a question that starts a bit of a conversation. Share your YouTube videos with your email list as a newsletter to nurture your database, or share it on some of the other platforms, the link to it in your Instagram stories. And if people comment on it or comment about it or message you about it, start to interact with people, because engagement is key. And the goal of this, again, is to get people to know, like, and trust you. So if you have any questions about YouTube or anything that I walked through in this video, drop a comment below. I do look at 100% of the comments and I want to see you succeed. But if you really want to go to that next level, check out that free training. That 90-minute masterclass will blow your mind, and truthfully, it's going to give you for free what most people charge thousands of dollars for.